Hey guys, how are you doing? Furo here, bringing you another fresh Gwent deck today. And today we will check out another Skellige deck, which is featuring the Queensguards. And you might see this deck currently a lot still on the ladder. So what's the deck all about? It's similar to the Dwarf deck that I showed you 2 days ago. The strategy of the deck is kinda one-sided because what you are trying to achieve is to get the maximum points out of the Queensguards, which is a bronze unit, normally 3 points when you start the game. But with the start of each round, it's getting strength itself by 1. And when you deploy 1 Queensguard, you will resurrect all Queensguards from your graveyard. Well, that means if you have 2 Queensguards already in your graveyard, you will then get these 2 Queensguards out of the graveyard onto the battlefield. So what you are trying to do is buff those Queensguards and also make sure that you not only have 3 Queensguards, but maybe 4 with the operator, for example. So let's just check out the leader first here. The King BRAN allows you, when you play him, to discard 3 cards from your deck, including golds, and strengthen units among them by 1. So what you want to do is you want to have 1 Queensguard in your hand, then you want to play the King BRAN. You will discard 3 cards, so then you will discard the 2 Queensguards that are still left in your deck. And you will also discard the CERYS here, which has a counter 4 decrease whenever unit is resurrected on your side, and counter 0, you will resurrect the CERYS as well. So then you have the 2 Queensguard and the CERYS in your graveyard. When you now play another Queensguard, you will resurrect the other 2 Queensguards, so the counter from the CERYS is going down to 2. And then in the second round, normally you should be able to spawn the CERYS onto the board when you play a Queensguard again, or when you resurrect the Queensguard. And for the third round, if you are forced to play a third round, then the CERYS should spawn as well on the graveyard, out of the graveyard, to give you a lot of points here. To increase the amount of points even further with the Queensguards, you are running the operator, which is a unit that you can deploy, and then you choose a bronze unit in your hand and create a base copy of it in both players' hands. And that's why you are normally trying to keep 1 Queensguard in your hand so that the operator can find one of those. And then you and your opponent will both get a Queensguard. Your opponent will not be super happy about the Queensguard, which is normally only 3 points. It will be 4 and 5 then on round 2 and 3, but it's otherwise not giving him any sort of extra beneficial. So for you it is great to have 4 Queensguards, for your opponent not so much. And also to find the operator, because you want the operator on your first round. We are also running in the deck the ALZUR'S double cross, which is strengthen the highest unit in your deck by 2 and then play it. As you can see here, all the units we have, they are all weaker than the operator. So in general, if you don't have the operator in hand, you should at least have the ALZUR'S double cross in hand. Then you can just play that. Operator spawning on the board. It is 11 points. You will then target a Queensguard, so you have 4 Queensguards over the course of the whole game. While this is a very one-sided strategy, because all you do and all your keycards are the Queensguards, you still have some variation here and there. So the deck list that you're seeing for the Queensguards are changing quite a lot. So my deck currently has triple Savage Bears, which is a really an excellent bronze unit from the Skellige. That will damage each enemy played by 1. So if you have 2 bears on the board, for example, then you will deal 2 damage to a unit that your opponent is playing. And why the bear is so important is just because if you face Skellige or Nilfgaard, for example, both classes are able to drop resurrection cards. So the Nilfgaard can drop the Medic, and of course Skellige has the Priestess of FREYA here. And these units are both at 1 point. So if you have a bear outside, your opponent cannot play those cards because the unit is getting damaged before the effect is happening. So if your opponent is then dropping a Priestess, the Priestess getting damaged by 1, so the Priestess is dying directly and he's not getting the effect, so your opponent is not able to resurrect a unit, which is very crucial, especially in, for example, mirror matches when you face another Queensguard, or also when your opponent is playing the Morquag deck, where he's interested in getting the Hunter out of the board, which is normally then a lot of points on the body. So if he cannot do that, you have a huge advantage. Plus, of course, a Savage Bear, if you drop him at the start of a round, is just dealing so much damage over time. If he can survive a round, that's normally 4, 5, 6, 7, even more points from time to time. That's really huge. To get the Queensguard, by the way, out on the board, because you will play those normally on the first turn. So you drop your 3rd or your 4th Queensguard, and the other Queensguards are spawning. You need then another chance to resurrect those Queensguards, so that's why we are definitely playing triple Priestess, so that can resurrect the Queensguard. We're also playing the Reaver, so that is another option to get the Queensguard. Of course, the Reaver is not only good for bronze cards, so you can also get some silver cards out. We will check one of those later. But that's another resurrection option for you. And plus you also have the Decoy, which allows you to get just a unit from the board back to your hand, and then you play it again. Also it's getting strength by 3. So that allows you to have 5 resurrection cards here, alongside the Queensguards, which are of course also resurrecting. To buff the Queensguards a bit, to make them stronger, you're also running the DRAIG Bondu, which is when you deploy him, strengthen 2 units in your graveyard by 3. So you're normally choosing Queensguards, of course, so very crucial. You will not choose something else in general. Maybe from time to time you will find something else that you want to use, but normally it's the DRAIG Bondu. And another option to also buff a unit in your graveyard is the HOLGER BLACKHAND. He's also getting buffed at the start of each round. Plus, when you deploy him, you will damage a unit by 5, and if it was destroyed, you will strengthen the highest unit in your graveyard by 3. And normally you're trying to achieve that the Queensguard are the highest unit. So for example, if you have played the DRAIG Bondu, then of course you are targeting a Queensguard, and that should be the highest unit. Or otherwise, when the Queensguards are getting strengthened at the start of a round, then they might also be the highest in the graveyard. So normally HOLGER BLACKHAND is trying to find a Queensguard so you can destroy a unit, hopefully, from your opponent. And the Queensguard is also getting buffed. For the gold cards, that's of course we need to play CERYS. Of course we are running the Ragnarok, because that is just way too strong. For some huge single targets, we have the GERALT IGNI, which can of course also kill multiple single targets. That is possible if your opponent has, for example, 3 units with 10 points in a row. You can just play GERALT IGNI, dealing 30 points of damage. The units are going down, which is pretty good. And then we have the MADMAN LUGOS, which is another excellent gold card from the Skellige class. You will discard a bronze unit from your deck and damage a unit by the discarded unit's power. So, and for that, we have the Clan and Crate Warrior in the deck, which is right now 8 points, but he's also getting stronger. So when you play the MADMAN LUGOS in the 3rd round, he would then be 10 points that you can deal with the MADMAN LUGOS, so 17 points in total, which is huge and should help you to clear most, if not all, the units that your opponent is playing. So that is the Queensguard deck. All in all, that's a very fun deck to play. Still, your opponent can counter that kinda easily if he has the right cards. If he is, for example, playing Nilfgaard and he can use the medics, then he's just stealing your Queensguards, and if you're running out of Queensguards, then of course your deck isn't that strong. That's the problem with one-sided decks, but nonetheless, in general, you are not facing always Queens, always Nilfgaards. So the deck is definitely working out. You will see that still on the ladder, also on high rankings. So it's not like you can only play that in the lower brackets. It is definitely working out even against a better opponent, because the Queensguards are just pushing so many points on the board. And in round 3, for example, you can with the CERYS, you can easily push 30 to 40 points on the board with Queensguard, with 4 Queensguard and a CERYS, which is a lot, and your opponent needs to overcome those. So guys, with that, I'm at the end of the deck presentation. We will now also check the deck out a bit with some gameplay. If you have questions, if you still have questions, if you have feedback, suggestions, whatever, just use the comment section. And don't forget, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the like button, and also subscribe to my channel. Would be very much appreciated and is helping me to push out more Gwent content in the future. So thanks for watching so far, and we will now play the deck a bit on the ladder. I'm still in the top 1000 on the leaderboard, so just for your information, I guess it's currently rank 12 or rank 13, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll find that out soon. So let's go and play some games. So our first game is against an Aradine Monsters deck, so what we can expect is to see a lot of Frost here. Well, that might be very painful. Let's see what we have for the start. Double Queensguard, we have a double Shieldmaiden, we have one DRAIG Bondu, GERALT IGNI and MADMAN LUGOS. So we are definitely dropping a Queensguard, that's for sure. Question is, yeah, we're also dropping on Shieldmaiden, and the question is, what else do we want to drop? Probably Priestess. You normally don't need that for the start. So we're gonna start here then with the Queensguard, getting a HOLGER BLACKHAND, we're dropping a Shieldmaiden. There's an Operator, which is really good, and we're also dropping the Priestess, gives us a Savage Bear. And because we are starting, we can just go for the Savage Bear then, and directly dealing damage to the first unit that our opponent is dropping. If you're facing too many weather decks, You might also change the Shackles here to another First Light, but normally I'm facing a lot of Morkwark decks right now, so the Shackles is really good against that, to just get rid of the effect and that he's not respawning. So there is the Wild Hunt Hound. The Binding Frost is dealing 1 damage each turn, so not too dangerous to be honest right now. For now, let's just drop the Operator here. We are getting, of course, a copy of the Queensguard. The opponent also has a Queensguard, and you will also see that here every time, because the back of the card is a bit different than the one that he's normally playing. So if he's redrawing that later, you can definitely see that he has a Queensguard in his hand, which is a useful information. Normally what he's doing, he's mulligan the card away, but there's always a chance that he's getting the card back. Because this one is only the Binding Frost, it's not too dangerous. I mean, weather is always bad, but okay, now it is more dangerous. Now he's dealing 2 damage because of the Nithral. But we don't care too much for that. We are now dropping, let's see, we could also go for the HOLGER Blackhand, but I guess we can wait. So with the HOLGER Blackhand we can kill the Nithral here. For now, let's go for the King BRAN. We're then getting double Queensguard, and we're getting the CERYS in our graveyard. So that's 1 Queensguard, and there is the other one. Then we can play the DRAIG Bondu, which is then buffing these 2 Queensguards, so we're getting more points over the course of the whole game. And there is another Wild Hunt Hound. Now we are still buffing the Queensguards first, because we are getting another buff from the HOLGER Blackhand, and I don't like to buff the Savage Bear here, so let's just drop the DRAIG Bondu, buffing those 2 Queensguards. And then with the HOLGER we can just hit the Nithral, so that the first effect is again only dealing 1 damage instead of 2. Despite double Frost, we are still not that in a bad position, because if we drop a Queensguard, we're just getting a lot of points here on the board. With the HOLGER Blackhand, we're getting rid of 4 points, so then he's down to 8. See what else he's dropping. So the Harpy with the Harpy X. These are then respawning on the start of the next round if we're not killing those first, but I guess we're not doing that. So HOLGER Blackhand, let's just kill the Nithral. This one is going down, plus we are buffing one of the Queensguards, so this one is now at 10 points. We have another at 7, and we have the ones here at 3. So that's also helping us in regards if he has a GERALT IGNI, for example. So he's only killing 1 Queensguard instead of killing all the Queensguards. That would be definitely more painful. Because we have the Decoy, we can still play the DRAIG Bondu a second time. So we have the option to get more points on the Queensguards before we are continuing here. We also have the option, of course, to just play the Queensguards right now, or we can replay the HOLGER Blackhand, but then we are getting a lot of points on a single Queensguard here instead of distributing the points more fairly. So I would say we are going for the DRAIG Bondu again. It's okay if you lose the first round, that is not a problem. So Queensguards are getting bigger. We now have 13 and 10 points here. So that means despite that we are currently behind, if we play 1 Queensguard right now, we're getting a lot of points. If we play the Shieldmaiden, we are getting 9 points on the board, plus we're dealing 6 damage. So not all is lost. Probably Shieldmaiden is also seeing some play this round, because I want to get at least kill one of the Harpy X, so he's only keeping then 9 points for the next round. If he's now just passing, we can just play a Queensguard, and we are winning the round kind of easily. Also, I would prefer probably just going for the Shieldmaiden, to be honest, and clear 1 egg. Then he only has 9 points, and we can just play a Queensguard on the next round. Time is running out. So what's your plan? Oh, he's going for the Imlarith, hitting the HOLGER Blackhand for 4. Interesting. So currently 16 points behind. That is 23. That's another 3. So that's 26 points that we are getting. Pushes us ahead at 10. So let's do that. Plus, of course, the countdown from the CERYS is going down. It's now at 2. So if we are using the Queensguard again next round, the CERYS is also spawning. And then for the last round, we are definitely looking for a Priestess here or SIGRDRIFA, and then we play the Queensguards again, and then CERYS is also spawning. So we are getting the value out of CERYS twice on the board. Currently 10 points ahead. We're getting damaged by 4 here through the Binding Frost, so in fact we're only 6 points ahead. And our opponent is, of course, 1 card ahead currently. He has the option to still play Aradine, but getting another Wild Hunt Hound here is not very beneficial for him. Ooh, interesting. So we now could play GERALT IGNI. The Harpy Eggs are a real problem for the next round, because right now that will be then 6, 12, 18 points that he's keeping. We don't like that too much. He's now 1 point ahead. If we play GERALT IGNI, what we would kill would be the Harpy here, which would be 5 points, so not too great, to be honest. I guess we're just dropping the shield maidens here. Let's see, that will be 9 points, plus we're dealing 6 damage. And I guess we want to pop up one of the eggs, so he's getting 3 more points then. 2 more points, so the Harpy. Plus he's... Nah, we cannot do that, he's triggering also the Death Wish. Okay, nonetheless, let's stop the shield maidens here. Gonna hit this guy. And we can really not trigger that. Oh man, that might be dangerous. Let's still try that. Oh, that was nice. Okay, if the Harpy would have been placed, for example, here, somewhere. I'm not sure, could also be that the Harpy is always triggering at the right side. I never noticed that. It could be that he's not spawning. Yeah, if he's only spawning at the right side, then of course he's not triggering the effect. I need to double check that, probably. So anyway, we're currently 10 points ahead, but we're also getting 10 damage here, 7 damage here from the units. So in fact, we're only 3 points ahead. Plus he can still play another card. So if he's not dropping just the Queensguard, we would be even. We still have the option to play GERALT IGNI, so that would be then kill the Harpy, for example. But I would definitely love to see more points. Okay, that is just another 7 points, means he is currently ahead. With GERALT IGNI, we are getting 4 points, we are dealing 5 points. So that means we have then even, and we're dealing 5. So if he's then just passing, he's still winning the round. So that is not too great to be in. Could also, of course, just play the MADMAN LUGOS. Yeah, I would say we're dropping the GERALT IGNI anyway. So he's losing the 5 points. Means it is 37 to 42, but again, we were also losing it now 7 points. So if he's just passing, what's happening is that we are still losing the round, so we would play another card. See, he's dropping the Queensguard apparently, which would be enough in this situation. As a Queensguard. So it is 40 to 35 points. We are even in cards. So he would keep 15 points. We have the Queensguard, which is a lot of points. If we just drop the MADMAN LUGOS, we're going up to 42, while our opponent is losing the Archgriffin here. So that means he's down to 33, we're losing another 5, so we are still ahead. And we have the option to play the Queensguard, of course, and we would get the other Queensguard here, which is not really helping us, because then we would also have right now no chance to get the Queensguard back. So let's go for the MADMAN. MADMAN who is killing, there you go, there's the warrior, we are killing the Archgriffin, which is 7 points down the drain. So it is 33 to 42, it looks like he's going for everything now. And he's going for the Wild Hunt Navigator and picking up the Wild Hunt Hound, which also means that this is the last Wild Hunt Hound in his deck and the last Biting Frost, so there will be no more Biting Frost for him in the future. And with that in mind, we are now just passing. Opponent needs to start the second round. He has 2 cards as well, he's keeping 15 points here, which is quite a lot, so maybe he's just passing, we will see. We definitely are interested in finding another Priestess here, something to resurrect. So we're probably just dropping the Shackles if we're not finding something. There's one Priestess, and there's also a Savage Bear. I'm still thinking that we're dropping the Shackles here, to be honest. Don't think we have to keep that. Yeah, let's just drop it. We're getting, oh, the Ragnarok, which is also very strong right now on that board. Everything is at 3. We can deal 9 damage directly, which is a lot. We still need to play the Queensguard here first. And if he's, for example, now just passing, we still only need to play 1 card. So we are just dropping then the Queensguard, and we will be fine. So the Queensguard will provide us with 4, with another... How much is it? That's another 11, so 15, 29, and the last one is also 4. It will be 33 points, plus we are spawning the CERYS, which is another 7. So 40 points just from one Queensguard. And that's the power. He's now thinking about if he is going to play another card, because he could, of course, just pass, and then we have 1 card at disadvantage. if he's dropping another card here, we're still overcoming him with the Queensguards. But he could have, for example, the Crones. He's going for the Ragnarok. Alright, the question is, do we also want to go for the Ragnarok? I don't think so. At least not for now. Guess we are... If we are also just dropping the Ragnarok, he can normally just pass, and then we need to play another card. Let's just start with the Queensguard and see how he's reacting to that. So CERYS is spawning here on the board. Means we have 40 to 15 points. Needs another 25 points to overcome us. We are getting 3 damage here, so that will be then only 22 points. Then we have a draw. If he's now dropping a unit, we might just go for the Ragnarok ourselves. Then we're dealing 9 damage. Yep, so... Okay, that's helping him. He's pushing then 6 damage each turn. But we're now also going for the Ragnarok. Apparently he's interested in playing a bit longer, so we're now dealing 9 while he's dealing 6 damage each turn. Gives us a huge advantage, and I would expect that he's now passing. Apparently he is. Triss Marigold. Oh man, dealing 5 damage, plus we're getting another 6 here from the Ragnarok, which means we are currently only 3 points ahead. So if we go for the Priestess here, right? If we go for that, then we can, for example, pick up the Warrior here, which is 9 points. But I'm not sure if we need to drop this. That would be the most points. I guess we can start it with the Savage Bear. And let's just hope that he cannot overcome that. He's down to 14, we are 27. And we're getting another 6, so we are down to 21. There is... Oh, what's that? Another Decoy. Hey, that's giving more points. And you can just drop the unit into the other row. I mean, wait. If we just... He hasn't passed so far, so we can just pass, right? Oh, yeah, we can just pass. Right. So you should have used the Drowner in a different row. There was no need to play the Priestess. Oh, nearly missed that. That was close. So we're winning the round with 2 points. We're getting the Shackles that we don't need, and we are just winning the round here. We have the Priestess that is way more points than the one card that he can drop there. So, oh, even double Priestess. We're starting here, we're just dropping the Priestess, we're getting a Queensguard, and with that he's out of the game. So we're spawning also the CERYS, and just like with that, with one Priestess, we have then 45 points on the board, and that's the power of the Queensguard deck. Because that's always happening normally in the last round, giving you so many points. He's not interested in playing any further. We are winning that kind of easy with one Priestess. Second Priestess, no need for that, so that's the first game. In our next matchup, we are facing a ROOG deck, and this one is normally just playing with dwarves. So another one-sided strategy, and there the Shackles is very good because we can just lock one of the dwarves. Most likely the SIGRDRIFA. We have an operator here with DRAIG, IGNI, MADMAN, LUGOS, Riva, and also Queensguard. So the start is really good. We can just drop some Queensguard into the graveyard. We can buff those with the DRAIG, IGNI. We get another Queensguard with the operator. That worked out decently. And also GERALT is helping us if he is just getting some dwarves for the next round that are getting high point amount. So we can just use GERALT to kill those. And with the Shackles here, we can just lock one of our users. So all in all, very good. Let's just accept that and start the game. Opponent needs to start. So probably he's just starting with the ROOG. Or maybe something else. So Yavin Sacred Wars in his hand. And then he's playing that first, because this one is getting buffed whenever he is dropping a dwarf ally. So if he's using the ROOG to get the Kranma out of the board, then the Yavin Sacred is getting buffed. Let's just for now drop the Savage Bear, which is just providing us with more and more points the longer the bear stays on the board. So the more units our opponent is dropping, the more damage we can do with the Savage Bear. And of course, we need that also for the shield mains. There's HOLGER, so he's also playing with that. Then let's just go for the operator. Giving us another Queensguard, of course. So currently we're even in points, even in cards. There's directly one weather effect, so I'm definitely not a fan of the weather effect. Let's just use the first light. You can always, of course, run into a Ragnarok as well, if he's playing Drought. So there might be that he's playing Drought and Ragnarok, but I'm not sure. It could be the same deck that Life Coach was using a few days ago. So we have then... let's go for the King BRAN here, which is then dropping the CERYS and the double Queensguards, of course. So there's one, there's CERYS, and there's the last one. And just a little buff on the Markham Defender. Yavin Sigrun is also getting buffed. If we would play Scourge, that would be really sick. We would kill those two. Very important. Not playing that, so why not just play the Drummond? And we are buffing those Queensguards. Currently half the points as our opponent has. That is fine. If he's buffing the Markham Defender any further, the Geraldine is just killing that. And he is now... Oh, he's doing that. Yavin Sigrun also getting buffed. So we can just use Shackles on that. I guess we're doing that now. Yeah, let's go for that. So he's losing the Resilient, and he's also losing the effect here. So the unit is not getting buffed any further. There is Dennis Kramer. Which means, on the other hand, that the Brewer Hog is not getting that now out of the deck. Which is definitely helpful. Oh, then how about we will just go for now for the Shield Maidens here. We're gonna hit the Markham Guard twice. And then we're hitting the Barclay Elves as well. We're not going for the Markham Defender because that is going down anyway through the IGNI. Ooh, there you go. That's more buffs on the units. But nonetheless, the Markham Defender is still in the range of getting killed here. Kinda easily. So what else do we want to do? We have the Reaver. We're just dropping the Queensguard now. So still behind. We will even be behind if we drop the IGNI here. Let's see, yeah, buff that further, buff that further. So he has one Queensguard in his hand. And the other card is unknown. We are losing this round here normally, but we're definitely killing the Markham Defender now. If he has another Markham Defender, so then so be it. So it will be 5-6 points for the next round. Doesn't matter. We're now killing the 22 points here. Also keeping the All Geared for the next round, so we're still further away if we drop the Queensguard. What do we have there? Rally. Yeah, okay. So that would mean he is up to 52, 58 points. We are down to 44. If we use the Griever right now, there's nothing that we can resurrect. If we use the Madman Lugos, that will be then 7 points. It would be up to 51. And we could also deal 8 damage, right? Yeah, that will be 8. So that would push us ahead. You can then just drop the Queensguard, or we can use the Brewer Hook. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just do that. So he would be forced to play the Brewer Hook. We're dealing the 8 damage here from the Warrior. Let's just hit the... It doesn't really matter, let's just hit the All Geared. So it's 50 to 51. If he's just stopping the Queensguard, we could also just go for the Queensguard. So he's forced to play the Brewer Hook. The last card he has besides the Queensguard, which is giving him the... Ooh, that is useful. Yeah, so it's 10 points for him. That means we cannot overcome him right now because there's nothing in the... Oh wait, there is one on. Warrior's in the graveyard. The Warrior's now in the graveyard, right. So how much is that? That will be 3. We can still play the Queensguard then. No, there's no need. Okay, we're just passing. Because the unit is also getting damaged here. So he will be at 7. We're exactly getting 10 points. So let's just pass. He's winning the first round. We will then play the Queensguard on the next round, which is providing us with a lot of points. He's getting the All Geared. Currently at 7. We have also a Savage Bear. We get another Priestess here. And our opponent needs, of course, to start. He's mulligan away the Queensguard for sure. We're not dropping anything. The cards went very, very good for what we want to achieve in the game. And he is directly dropping the Ragnarok. Look at that. So we are just going for the Savage Bear then. See what he's doing and then going just for the Queensguard. And what do we have? The Rally effect. So that's a little buff on the All Geared. So he's up to 15 then. We are getting 3 points of damage here through the Ragnarok. Then just dropping the Queensguards, of course. Spawning everything on the board. So it's 25 to 15, and we're also getting CERYS, so that's 32 then. And with the last card, he shouldn't be able to overcome us. Normally that is not happening. Yeah, that's just a pass. So he's down to 1 card. He's of course getting the All Geared back, but that's only 5 points for him in the last round. So all in all, not too dangerous. And we also got another Priestess. Do we want to keep everything? I guess so. We have so many good stuff. So many good stuff. Yeah, we are just keeping everything. And the rest just for feet. So with the card advantage that we had in the last round and triple resurrection cards, there was no chance for opponent to overcome the points that we are dropping. We would have played, for example, the Priestess, then we're getting the Queensguard back. We are spawning 4 Queensguards, which also means we are getting the CERYS on the board as well. So that would then be nearly 40 points, I guess. And our opponent was at 2 cards plus the HOLGER, so that was not working out for him at all. And with that, I'm at the end of today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you like Queensguard, definitely try out the deck. You can change a few cards here and there. If you face too many weather cards, you can, for example, drop the Shackles and instead play another First Light. Or if you want to play a different gold card, you can definitely do that. So for example, you can drop GERALT IGNI if you like a different gold card. If you want to play CERYS, for example, just do that. There are a lot of options you have in the Queensguard deck. The core is always the same, so you want to have the triple Queensguard, you want to have the operator normally to have a 4th Queensguard or the potential to have a 4th Queensguard. And with the LUGOS double cross, you have of course the chance to get the operator more easily onto the board and then create the 4th copy of the Queensguard. So that's done it for today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Any questions, just use the comment section below. And I will be back with more Gwent in the near future. So tomorrow is Saturday, then there's probably not anything coming, but on Sunday most likely there is. So see you then guys, and have a good week, and see you guys. Bye bye.